Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Grocery stores are putting security tags on food due to rising food thefts, except produce, of course, because even when starving, Americans avoid salad. The 52nd season of Sesame Street premiered yesterday. Man, that's impressive. 52 years and Oscar still hasn't caught Hep C. Elon Musk has 9 children with 3 different women, or as Nick Cannon calls it, a slow week.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Time for another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
It looks like we can eat outside at a restaurant. Great. I love eating on the deck at places. I love the fresh air. I love the warmth of the sun. So much better than freezing my butt off because I got the AC cranked to Antarctica inside the place. Oh, and I love the beach vibe that most of these places create. It beats the hell out of fold-up trays in front of the TV.
And that was another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
And now it's time for another episode of A Few Seconds Inside a Man's Head.
Ugh. She wants to eat on the deck. Great, let's see how many flies can defecate on my burger. Maybe a bird will steal my french fries, or better yet, take a giant white dump on my head. I hate eating outside. We invented shelter for a reason. Get a sweater and deal with the AC.
And that was another episode of A Few Seconds Inside a Man's Head.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to loudmouth Yambag at rock107.com.
What a week. I am Rock 107's Prospector, and here is what's got me jacked. Boot drives. Man, I hate boot drives. There's always just for some local BS, and then I'm expected to pony up some loose change so a bunch of high school kids can go to Birmingham and compete in the national tooth-picking finals? Sorry, I don't think so. Just because I'm driving through your little podunk burg doesn't mean I'm the slightest bit interested in you or your kids. The worst part is, you never know when these things are coming up. It's not like there's signs up the road so you can go out of your way and get away from them. No, it's always some yam bag in torn jean shorts and a wife beater standing on the yellow line with no cones, no orange vest, nothing. Standing in a highway. Yeah, that's a good idea. Andy wants money? Please, you're not even smart enough to stay out of the road. How can you handle cash? Worst part is, when one of these beggars ends up getting plowed and dies, everybody's going to be looking to blame the driver, not the jerk standing in the highway. Bad service at a diner and not being allowed to leave an appropriate tip. See, I was out to lunch with my wife the other day, and the waitress wasn't exactly speedy. Now, don't get me wrong, we got what we ordered, and she was pleasant. It's just that, like, when time for the bill to come, she disappeared like Jimmy Hoffa. We both needed to get back to work, so I really wasn't in the mood to wait, especially for the bill. I mean, seems to me that's the kind of thing you'd want to get on the table quick and get paid. So there we sat, trying to find our waitress in the diner, all the while watching the clock tick, 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 tick. Finally, I get up to the counter in the other room, and I ask for the bill. It comes to about $12.99. Now, I want to leave a tip, but I don't want to go overboard here because I want Flo to know that perhaps she can do a little bit better. So I'm thinking $2. Not great, but not a man, what a cheap bastard that guy was kind of tip either. I mean, it's 15%. But my wonderful wife, who I am so much better off with her in my life than I would be without her, she just won't hear of this, all right? She tosses out 2 more. So now we're leaving like, what, 30, 31%? And it's not like she didn't think the bill could have come quicker. So I say, what the heck, $4? And she's like, well, she's working hard. No, she's not working hard. If she were working hard, I'd be on my way back to work already, and she would have gotten a great tip off the bat. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man!
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag I found Prospector, and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107.
Goes according to plan. A lot of people, when their day falls apart, go online and share what's happened. I share their stories with you. Epic fails, on Rock 107.
Have you heard about the lonesome loser? He's a loser, but he still keeps on trying.
My mother still hasn't figured out that my ex is a manipulative jerk who has no interest in a relationship with her, just her usefulness as a babysitter and a sympathetic cash machine. But when I try to tell her that, she gets mad at me. The kid's not even mine. It's from the guy my ex cheated on me.
You are one pathetic loser.
After nearly 2 years of dating, my now ex-girlfriend decided she was ready to have sex. Specifically, with my dad.
What a loser!
I got a message from my bank saying my account is below the amount they require and that they'll charge me $25 if I don't deposit money soon.
You're already a loser.
Their lack of success makes us feel better about our lives. Epic fails on Rock 107. I found out that my wife of 19 years has been cheating on me. When I confronted her, she told me all the country songs about cheating she's been playing the last 18 months should have been a good hint.
Le who? The her.
My mother-in-law tried to prove I was lying about my seafood allergy by adding minced prawns to her spaghetti sauce. In the last 24 hours, I've had the worst diarrhea of my life, vomited a ton, and ended up in the ER.
Loser.
My son laughed at me when I tried to get him to put a bit more effort into his schoolwork. Turns out his grandmother showed him all my crappy report cards from school when I was his age.
I'm a loser. I'm a loser.
Their defeat is our victory. Epic fails on Rock 107. I went to my new girlfriend's house for the first time and met her 17 cats, whose name all begin with the letter K because they're all cool cats.
You're a loser. A lazy, obnoxious loser.
I thought it would be funny to smack my baby daughter's head gently with a balloon. Well, it hit her hair clip and exploded with a loud pop. She won't stop crying, and my wife will be home any minute.
You're a loser!
I borrowed my mom's BMW to impress my new girlfriend. I'd told her I owned an accounting firm, so I had to look the part. While on our date, as luck would have it, I got rear-ended. And to make matters worse, the person who rear-ended us was my boss at Burger King. Let's just say the cat's out of the bag, and I'm single now.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A Sheriff's Department Marine unit saved a confused dog that ran into the ocean at a beach in New Jersey the other day. The dog's name is Caden, and he's a 10-year-old husky. He swam 1.5 miles out to sea before they found him and picked him up.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. What's a yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the Week.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
A guy in Florida is facing charges for grand theft after he tried to steal a $10,000 R2-D2 replica at Disney World. He said he'd applied for a security job and he wanted to up his chances by exposing weaknesses in their system.
Nominee number 2.
A couple stole 3 air conditioning units from an unnamed store in Michigan recently, but they helped police out by leaving behind an ID and a purse with a crack pipe in it.
Nominee number 3.
Police in New Hampshire are looking for someone who broke into a public pool and vandalized it. They believe the person defecated in the water, but they're not about to test it to find out for sure that's what it was.
And the winner is
the couple who stole 3 air conditioners but left behind an ID, a purse, and a crack pipe. You guys are the Yambags of the Week. Make sure you stay tuned for more nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day each and every weekday right here on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.